Hi, this is Don Debelak. You've reached the fourth video in our video series, Pump Up Sales, Choosing Distribution Channels, Matching them to your target customers for greatest success. So basically what we're talking about in this is a lot of times inventors will get started with just looking at a limited number of distribution channels when there's really a lot more distribution channels to look at, and you really need to expand your scope to as many distribution channels as possible. Now, this is sort of the table of contents that we're going to be covering in this video series. It's understand the difference between distributors or distribution channels. I often use distributors as just a catch-all phrase for distribution channels. It's just different ways that you take your product to market. It doesn't really have to have a distributor. Selling direct is considered a distribution channel. Direct sales is a distribution channel. Selling through reps, catalogs, home shopping networks, all of these are different ways you take your product to market, and all of those are distribution channels. The ideal channel offers solutions to end users and offers a full complement of products, and it also offers the support that they offer to the customer and end user. So you want a distribution channel that sort of has a full support status in place to really help their customers. For instance, there's an acoustical product supplier that I've done, had some conversations with, and basically what they are in a lot of the Suites catalog, which is a catalog that interior designers or architects look at, and they go to trade shows and they're in trade magazines, and what they do is they offer a line of acoustical ceiling tiles that apply to almost every type of market condition. So they feel that the broader their product line, the more important it is that people will come and look at their site just to check out what they have, rather than hunting and pecking through the internet trying to find a site from a variety of manufacturers. So again, distribution channels that have that broad support are ideal for you. Size counts again. I mean, you want to be important to your partners. You want to be important to the people you do business with. If you're not important, what you're going to find out is that they're not going to spend the time, energy, and effort into really promoting your product, and you're not going to get anywhere near the biggest bang for your buck as you would if you were important to the distribution channel. Now, when you get started, it's a lot. It's all about momentum in the invention business. So you want to use a lot of different tactics to start. Some of them non-traditional tactics, such as selling through end-user clubs. Anything to build up that momentum in the market, that branding in the market, the way that you start to get market acceptance, that makes the entire distribution channel network want to support you more. Of course, there's many ways to promote your product through distribution channel, and what we're really talking about in this video is just kind of trying to broaden your exposure to all the opportunities and possibilities you really have to take your product to the market. And of course, as in distribution, there's it's very expensive for you. There's a lot of discounts the dealers want. They want a lot of markups, and so you really need to understand what are the typical discounts or markups in the industry, so you know you're getting a fair deal from your distribution channel, but also so you know how much money you're going to get and how much money you have to price your product at, or what cost you price your product at, in order to really generate enough cash for your manufacturing costs. Often I'm talking about having to have a 4 to 5 times your retail price needs to be 4 to 5 times what your manufacturing cost is. But in reality, depending on your distribution channel, that could be a little higher or lower. So knowing what discounts are in the channel really will help you make sure that you actually make money for all your time and investment. Now, when we are talking about distribution channels, on this slide I've just kind of listed a wide variety of distribution channels just to give you some concept of what people are doing. One is they could be selling direct. Now, when we say selling direct, direct means in a distribution channel that you have your own salesmen, you have your own sales force, and they're going out and selling to the end user. Selling direct to distributors again means you have your own salesmen selling to distributors. This would be versus selling through independent sales reps who carry a broad line of products and your product is just one in the line, or selling through another manufacturer, or selling private label. Those would all other be options, but direct means you have your own sales force. Using independent sales reps, again, as I just mentioned, they have usually 10 to 12 products in their product line. You might sell through distributors, through sales reps, or through some other arrangement, like you might join forces with another small inventor company to get the product out. You could sell through fundraising programs, like some people will sell a product through the Boy Scouts, and the Boy Scouts will raise money for their troops, and they'll sell, instead of giving a discount to a distribution channel. All these things like fundraising or end user clubs are really good for you to kind of get your product going in a smaller market so you can show your product will sell. I mentioned selling through other marketers earlier, catalogs, home shopping networks, direct TV ads. And a direct TV ad could be you pay for your own ad, or you actually use one of the firms that's in the business for response TV ads. Either way, it's another approach to market. Some people will get started and get going, and some people will sell their whole lives just at craft fairs and state fairs, where they'll apply their trade and their products out there, and establish, some of them make pretty good money doing that. Internet sales on your site, internet sales on other sites. You can do crowdfunding, where you have a reward-based crowdfunding in order to raise money, and also sell product where you say, hey, I need $30,000 to start my product, and if you give me $100, I'll ship you 3 products once the product is ready. And there's just a host of others. So you have an unlimited, really, number of ways to sell your product, and you really want to kind of be aware of all of them, especially in the early stages where you're just trying to get your product on the market, make some money, and show that end users really want your product. So if I'm going to define the right distribution channel, this means what distribution channel do you really want to look for? Which is the one that's really going to do what you need to get your product out? Of course, the first one is you have to hit the target market. You want to hit that target market with as much focus as possible. So the better your distribution channel is on concentrating on your focus market, the better it is, and the broader product line they have to service that is also better, because you want that full complement of support so people can see how your product fits in to their overall solution. Really, people want to buy a complete solution, and they don't want to just buy a product here, a product there, a product everywhere. So the better your distribution channel offers that full-scale solution, the better off you're going to be. Of course, the right amount of product support. I don't know if I've talked about it that much in this series, but I have in others. But basically, some products, where people don't know them very well, or they're very expensive, or they need a lot of hand holding, you have to go with a distribution channel that offers the appropriate product support. If you have a product that needs product support, internet sales may be not that effective, or you might have to do internet sales with a program where you have customer service, technical support, free helplines, webinars on how to install your product and things like that. So you need to match up your overall product support to what the customers are really looking for. Actually, on an internet site, I like having webinars and things, because people can look at before they buy your product, because not only product support after, but product support before buying are both important. Again, I listed a little bit why you need to be important to your distributor or distribution channel. You need to be offering them a benefit that they can use as a competitive advantage. This is why the distribution channel will always push you for exclusive agreements, though you want to shy away from them if at all possible, but because they want an advantage over their competition. If you are forced into a distribution agreement to pick up a large channel, that's not bad for you, because then they'll push your product, but you just want to make sure that your exclusive agreement has a time limit on it and also has performance requirements. So if the distribution channel doesn't perform, they lose their exclusive, or if they are doing well, maybe after 2 years, then you're allowed to sell to other people. So you just use the distribution channel to get you started in the market. You want to take a look, does the distribution channel need its own sales force? I mean, sometimes these distribution channels won't have salespeople out there calling on customers. They just kind of have things in stock and people just call up and buy from them. Beeline is an example of a electrical products distributor. What they've done is they've really promoted like crazy the Beeline name to electricians, and so the electricians go to the Beeline site and see what they have. Now, but Beeline has some inside salesmen or customer service reps, but they don't have outside reps. So how is Beeline going to do on a product like a new electrical invention when you have it on the shelf, but nobody's really explaining it to the electricians, no one's really talking about it, and maybe the electricians go on the site to look something up. So that's, without the own sales staff, sometimes the distribution channels aren't that effective for you. Of course, you want the distribution channel to be well funded and be willing to carry inventory. When I say do they own shelf space, like a convenience store will, I don't know if owning the shelf space is the right term, but they'll have a slotting allowance like at your convenience stores where a certain section of the store belongs to them. They put their products into those shelves. When the product sells, they get paid. If it doesn't sell, they take it back, but they have like an independent store on their shelves, although all the transactions go through the cash register. So if you wanted to be in a convenience store, you definitely want to be sure and you're selling to people who actually own shelf space. Otherwise, you're going to have a very tough row to try to get the convenience stores to take it. And then you want them to order reasonable order quantity. Sometimes the distribution channel, just wants to take on products where they're ordering 50,000 unit lots, and that's really not going to work for an inventor. So check and see if they'll just bring in small stock to take care of their customers as their market builds. Otherwise, if they want a really big order quantity, they're probably not going to take you unless you've really developed the market. You'll find there's really two types of distributors: those who really are just waiting to sell products that are already entrenched in the marketplace, and where they're providing a service that they bring in really large orders, and they can sell less than truckload orders to stores. That's not the one you want. You need the distributors who are willing to go out and develop the market for you. Now, how do you locate the right channels? How do you locate all the channels? How do you actually know what's going on in the industry? Which is step number one, is you got to understand what channels are available to you. So again, trade magazines, trade shows, which I mentioned a little bit earlier in the videos in this series, how to find those shows, how to find those trade magazines. You need to get out into the industry. You need to talk to people in the industry. You need to have contacts in the industry. If you don't have that, you're really very unlikely to find the right course of action, the right way to get to the marketplace. Talk to your target end users. How do they get products? How do they buy products? Where do they look like for products? Like the Beeline catalog, which I had never heard of, I found out from an end user electrician when I just asked him, how do you, when you need a new product or are looking for products, where do you go? And he told me Beeline. Well, it's not that hard to get information if you're willing to go out and talk to people. Now if you have a two-step distribution channel, which means that first you go to a distributor, then you go to a store, or you have some kind of a channel set up that's more than one, check with your stores or your retailers or your other outlets and see how they buy their products. So in other words, it might be that your local convenience stores has 4 arrangements with 4 distributors that furnish different products for his shelves. And so who are those companies? They'll talk to you and tell you when you're where they're getting their products, so you'll know, because even the store clerks will know, because those companies are delivering all the time. You can also check with your local SBA sponsored organizations, the Small Business Development Centers, and SCORE. And also when you go to the trade shows, talk to the small companies, talk to the marketing peoples, and ask how they distribute their products. You know, if you go to the, as I mentioned earlier, if you go to these booths when people aren't that busy, they'll talk to you and they'll tell you what they're doing. And some of the time, that information is very valuable. You know, you just can't afford to be going into a marketplace without any knowledge and any connections and really expect to have success. So now we've got distribution channels that we want to use. We've got information about them. We maybe have made quite a few contacts and we know people. So then you really need to present your product to the distribution channel in order to get them to take it. You really always want to have like a little presentation, even when you're going to a trade show or an association meeting, like a 5 to 10 minute brief show, like on an iPad that you can show people quickly, or you want to have a more extensive, like a 15-minute presentation, you know, if you're going into company headquarters or something. But don't go any longer than that, because what's key here is you're going in, and in most cases in a presentation, you make or lose the sale in like the first 2 or 3 minutes. So, you know, just carry, and if you make the sale in the first 2 or 3 minutes, and they're convinced they should take it, you can lose that sale just as fast if you just drone on and on about your product. So keep your product short with a lot of wow factors, a lot of positives, and don't worry about giving too much information. You know, you can have a slideshow backup if you know, if you really insist on having a long slideshow. What you can do is just have that as a backup, so if people ask you questions, you can refer to it. But you know, they're not interested for the most part in all that detailed information. They're just interested as, wow, this looks great, or not interested. And it's your job not to turn the people who could be interested into not interested by droning on. So, but when you present your product, pricing and discounts, you want to know them. You want